What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's been about a month or so since I've made a video and uploaded it onto my channel. That doesn't mean I haven't been working. I just kind of took a little break from YouTube, mainly just messing around with the house, actually working on the car and changing a few things, accumulating some parts. And I'll go ahead and briefly update you all if you do not follow me on social media. For those that are just strictly on my channel for the content, I'll go ahead and fill you in. So I went ahead and made this newer version of the headlight support. So it's different material, thicker tubing. Reason being is we're going to be mounting our radiator, our CSF radiator off of the support. So it's not that I didn't really trust this guy, but it's too flimsy, and I didn't want to take a chance on it actually like a little bit of wobbling or shaking. I didn't want to take that chance, so I decided to get some different material and try to find something that's a little bit more sturdier, since we're going to be adding a little bit more weight to it, not just off of the headlights. So I knocked that out. A couple other things that I have done. I do got a new wheel set up. So these are 15x8 SI rivers with 225/50 R888Rs all the way around. So it gives that nice aggressive stance. So this will be the setup that I'm going to run. And we did get rid of our water pump kit and all that. I got rid of the alternator, belt, the upper coolant housing, the car steps, power steering, AC delete, all that, the whole 9 yards. I got rid of it as a whole, pretty much like a little bundle kit. Showed it to a guy in California, so that got shipped out already, because we are switching over to an electric water pump, and that's the biggest reason why I pulled all that off. I kind of wanted to free up a little bit more room in that area, because in these EFs, everything's so tight. So I got all of them parts and stuff on the way. I got a couple other things on the way, but I do not want to spoil it right now, because that's actually a big move for me. It does involve with the hatch. So I got something else on the way. It's in the works, and I will briefly let you all in on that once it gets here. But I'm kind of keeping it on the hush hush right now. I'm pretty excited. It's not too big of a deal, but to me it is. This is my first time ever owning one of these. So yeah, that's pretty much a little brief update, and let's go ahead and start this video. So let's go ahead and hop right on into getting this radiator mounted. I'm probably gonna make like a small series on my cooling system. We're gonna hopefully get this thing mounted up in this video. Like I said, I really want to get it mounted up, because that's one less thing that I actually have to worry about when the rest of the parts come in, and when the electric water pump gets here and all that, get everything else mounted, then I'll be able to judge where I'm going to route my lines and what fittings I'm going to need from there after everything's already mounted. So let's go ahead and see if we can't get this thing mounted up somehow. So I came to realization that these brackets, didn't realize, or I didn't pay attention that these are aluminum. And I'm actually trying to make brackets off of my headlight support right here. So those aren't going to work, for one. And two, I ain't got a TIG welder. And three, I haven't fully practiced on TIG welding, so I haven't got that down pat. So even if I did have a TIG welder and I could weld that straight to the aluminum, it wouldn't happen anyways. So I had some leftover tubing. There's little bits and pieces right here to make these brackets. So this is actually going to be the most material that I use on this little guy right here. If you can see that in there, that's where that mounting place is. And then you got the two bottom pieces. So those will actually be easy because I won't be using much right here to run from there to that hole, and then I want to run down to the traction bar. And needless to say, I took some of this extra stuff and still using a flux core. I know I've spent thousands of dollars on my car and ain't even invested in a $600 to $800 welder. So I got this all welded up with flux core. Right now I gotta trim it, but I gotta get an idea of how much I have to trim as far as the height right here, because this is going to come up and meet just like that, but underneath. And then from there I'll figure out the length right there on how far over I'm going to be to that guy right there. And then pretty much what the whole concept is going to be is it's going to look something like that. Well, if you stand it up the correct way, it'll be like this. So it'll come off of right here in this area, and then it'll come over into that little tab, which I'm just cutting sections off of that, and then I'll drill my hole, and then that'll be my little mounting place, just like right here. So that's my intentions right now of building this little piece. Like I said, these other two are going to be pretty simple because they're in a much easier spot and a lot closer to a mounting place. But this guy right here is going to be the little tough one. But I think I pretty much got it figured out. Now I just got to measure twice and then cut once. And then we'll get this little tab right here welded up, get a hole made so we can run the existing bolts that came with the kit. Wish I could have used this. Well, I wish I could have used it, because if you see, boom, it lined up perfect, and then you got right there, and then just trim the excess off. That would have been very ideal. That would have been perfect, honestly. And it's weird how perfect that actually set up for me. With me making this actually a 1 of 1. So that would have been great. But sometimes you just gotta take the time and build stuff yourself. Alright, so I got this guy trimmed down. So like I said, I wanted a decent size for the heights because it's got to drop down quite a bit, and then I wanted this as short, that way it's not all the way over and just look tacky. So I done some measuring. So I'm gonna use this extension just to feed it in there without knocking the radiator over. So if I run it right here, about like I said, so it'll be right in this area, and that'll put me a good placement for the hole to mount straight up to. So now what I'm actually going to do, I knocked a little section of this off to shorten right here for this clearance right here. So I took that mount off, Now I can focus on getting this guy welded up. So it'll be like that right there. So that's all I gotta do is just run a bead around that, and then we got our bracket. So this will actually be strictly welded to the core support, and then I'll be able to unbolt it from right in here, and then we'll focus on the other two over there. But right now I'm trying to get this hardest part knocked out because it's such a tight fitment right there, and you don't have that open section on that end down there. So I'm trying to do everything with all the stuff in place. Yes, it'd have been a lot easier to pull the intercooler off, but I didn't want to go ahead and knock out this bracket and then the intercooler not fit because it would be touching. So pretty much just measuring more than once, more than twice, and then cutting and going from there. All right, so we got it all welded up. Still a little warm, but I got it all brushed off. Just to show you that I ain't doing nothing. Ain't nothing wrong with the flux core, but boy, let me tell you, if I broke down and bought me a good welder, we'd be in business.
You done?
Am I done?
Yeah.
No, we just getting started. Look what Dad made.
Dang.
Oh, you smell where I've been welding? Does it stink? Or does it smell good?
Dang. Dang.
Stinks.
Dang.
Sorry, we got this welded up now. Now I just gotta make my hole for my mounting point to run the bolt through right there. And then we'll get this top piece welded up to the
Bye, dude.
see you, dude. And then get this top section right here welded up to the core support. So slowly but surely getting there. It's just taking a little bit of time because, like I said, I want to actually do it right. So it's coming out pretty good. Just keep trucking. All right. So I got this guy pretty much set up. I went ahead and tilted this guy in a little bit. Got it tacked up right now. And I'm actually working on this next piece right here. So I got this guy welded up. And I just gotta make my hole. What's up, dude?
I got my fire truck.
That's your fire truck. Oh my lord. And actually what I'm doing with this, you back up for a second, watch out for the car. This is perfect length to fit all the way down to this bottom piece. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna feed this guy up. And boom. So looks like I gotta trim it just a little bit, and then we'll be good. So, what?
You see that red arrow?
Yeah, it's cobwebs. It's because that car just sits. Go ahead, tell me to finish it so we can knock the cobwebs off, literally. Alright, you ready to take this thing to the racetrack? See how fast we go. Alright, so I came to a stopping point right now because my wonderful wife told me that my food is done. So we got tacos tonight. Alright, so here's a little recap of what we got made. Got these two brackets right here. This is the L shape that I was showing you earlier for the one section right there. And then right here It's what we made. It's tacked up right now. And that's for the bottom one. Right here at the bottom. So I'm probably just going to do the two mounting brackets because the L-shaped one right there kind of covers the center section. And then this supports the bottom. So I hand tighten the two bolts to where the flat piece right here actually sits flush. After I got it set flush, then that gave me an idea exactly where I want to run my tube up to be welded onto the support. And yeah, with them two bolts being hand tight, honestly, it was already sturdy. So I am actually going to pull the core support off to weld up those two brackets that we had made for the radiator to mount off of, because I want to go ahead and get that welded up. So put you on a nice little time lapse and knock this out real quick. Alright, so I got it all welded up. All the way around. All the way around. A little bit of splatter. Everything looks good though. So, flat disc will knock all that off and clean it up. So I got it fully welded all the way around. It is not going nowhere. So I'm actually now, I want to go ahead and slap it back on the car, put the headlights back on, go ahead and mount the radiator up, and show y'all guys the final product. So pretty stoked with how it came out. So let's go ahead and get this knocked out.
Waiting in a car, waiting for a ride in the door. The night city cruise, look at the horizon glow. Waiting for a word, looking at the Milky skyline. City's my dream, your feet is gliding.
And there we go, guys. It's gonna wrap it up. So I went ahead and took the time to get the fan mounted on. It is very close to the slave cylinder. Went ahead and put the fittings on. So I like the placement on everything. The reason being is I can run a 45, or not a 40. Yeah, I can run a 45. That's probably what I'll do. Run a 45 off of this right here and shoot straight up this way, and then it'll take me straight to the head. And right over here I can probably run a 45 as well to wherever. I'm not exactly sure on this area, but once I get the water pump mounted up, which I think is right around in here, And then I should be able to do a 45 straight into that and a 45 off of that and have like a small, maybe like this, about 2.5 inches of hose, and then run off of our water plate, and all of that would be later on down the road once everything gets here. I just wanted to go ahead and get a head start. So this guy is fully mounted up. It is not going nowhere at all. Like, at all. So I'm pretty stoked about that. It honestly looks really good. Everything is starting to get really cluttered in here. Being that it is an EF chassis, it's crazy. There's like a couple more things that I'm trying to fit in the engine bay, and it's gonna be tough. One, it ain't gonna be so bad, but one, the water pump, getting it mounted up, that's not gonna be a bad ordeal, because I should have some room right back in behind the throttle body. Biggest thing that I'm worried about is a catch can. Yeah, hopefully you guys like the custom mount for the radiator. Like I said, it's pretty sturdy. It's not going nowhere at all. It turned out pretty good. So like I said, I got a couple more parts on the way. I also got my dry shaft being made by S1 Built. We got a bunch of stuff on the way, man. It's crazy. I got billet hinges from Hush Performance, so I ain't got to use this thing no more. I got to get those arrow catch hood pins ordered so we can knock that out. And pretty much everything that's on the way, minus I need pads and rotors and rear calipers. And that's literally it. And rear axles. That's it. That's all I got left. And then the car should be able to fire up once wiring gets here, and should be able to move all in the same video. So fingers crossed everything comes in very, very soon, and be able to knock that out, because I really want to see this thing run. And it'd be even better to see this thing move under its own power in the same video with the first startup. That would be awesome. So that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Be sure to hit the notification bell for future uploads, because like I said, this is series 1. We got more to come. And be sure to subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Go ahead and give this video a like if you think we've done a good job getting this mounted, because honestly it's very, very tight fit. It took a lot of brainstorming to figure out what I'm going to do to make this fit in here like it did. Like I said, it is tight squeeze, but hey, it works. So it's going to be all for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and we will see you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.